Well, hey guys, as you can see, I'm back in Bama. It was good to get away. Nice to be back. Went out, we got actually having a pretty productive Saturday. Got up really early this morning, got a few things done around the house, then went for a lawn walk. Came back, had some watermelon juice, getting work done, drinking a smoothie now, going to the gym in a little bit. Just being productive. Video I'm going to do today is just a little simple one. It's called Live and Let Live. I'm sure you've heard that saying before. I do videos every day, so if you haven't already done it, hit that subscribe button for me now, and then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. I was thinking about this the other day as a philosophy. And I'm going to tell you something, and listen to me closely, and don't try to be devil's advocate and tear it apart, because there's a thought process behind it. Everybody's always talking on, and it's cool. I'm not against it. It's a good thing, but love, 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 love and light. Everybody needs to love. What the world needs now is love, love, love. Like I say, love is good. Love is great. The world most certainly needs love, but I think actually we would have much less problems if we simply had tolerance. I think tolerance is more of a necessity in this world today than love is. Although once again, love is always important, and you could even argue that, you know, if people have love, of course they're going to have tolerance. But like I say, I think if I was in a situation or to be honest, I'd prefer, it's nice to be loved, but I really need to be tolerated, and I think everybody has a need to be tolerated. I see it all the time. It's a philosophy on life. If the world adopted it, this philosophy would eliminate the vast majority, probably 80–90% of the problems in the world if people just kind of live by that live and let live. We see it everywhere, and I mean, I'm not focusing on one particular area. We see it in government politics and our leaders in the world. We see it in religion, interfighting between religions. We see it in most people that watch me, sometimes people tune in on the weekends that aren't, watching me for the raw content or the vegan content, but we see it in the vegan world. The vegan world may be worse than any of them. People sit around, people spend, I can tell you because I've seen them, I've eliminated them from my social media feed. There's people in the vegan world that sit around and debate that stuff, debate the fine points of it all day long. And okay, it's all right, and hey, anybody can do what they want to if you want to debate stuff all day long, but the part they're always putting it's like this vegan, this one's not doing things right. And there's a lot of intolerance, and it's almost like they're a bad person. Well, I don't care. I mean, the way this person is doing, and also too, another disclaimer, so somebody can't really dig and get literal. Live and let live. Always live and let live, as long as it's not hurting anybody else. In other words, someone else's opinion, someone else's religion, what someone else is eating. This vegan over here, he's vegan. He may be a junk food vegan. He may eat stuff that I wouldn't even think about eating, but he's a vegan. And what he is doing, while I might say, okay, we might have an intellectual discussion about it, and I'd say, well, yeah, but that's this or that, would never throw shade, and I would probably never initiate that. It would just be like something that would happen spontaneously, organically, just a discussion, but I would never, hate on them, or I would never, think that something was wrong with them. That's how they do vegan, and it has absolutely nothing to do with me. If everything they eat on their vegan lifestyle is frozen, comes from the freezer, it's some sort of product, it's some sort of this, it's some sort of that, doesn't matter. It doesn't have any effect on me. This person's religion over here doesn't have any effect on me, really. People try to spin it like it does sometimes. Well, but these people are doing this and these people are doing that. But no. And I'll tell you what, when you watch this video, over the next few days, as you're following your social media, as you're watching news, as you're seeing news, as you're seeing the day's events, look at it and see if it's not confirmed. You know, sometimes you don't notice something until somebody says something about it, and once somebody mentions it, you see examples of it everywhere. It's, you know, so many people into other people's business. Now, I can get a little touchy about that. I've always been somewhat of a private person, kind of stay to myself, and I don't like somebody getting into my business. I don't like somebody trying to infringe on me, telling me what I need to do. As far as, I will throw a little politics in there. I'm not political. I don't discuss politics. I love when people, they insult me. It's almost like they think I'm a little bit slow, because I don't get sucked into that. You're never going to suck me into any online talk about religion, politics, right versus left, any of that stuff. But if I probably had to pick a color, and they have their issues too, it'd be closer to me being a libertarian, you know, because it's like, I have a friend, he's not a libertarian, but he's close, and his philosophy has always been, your rights end where my rights begin. In other words, like, whatever you're doing, no matter how bizarre, no matter what I think about it, is really none of my business until they somehow affect me. And, you know, if it doesn't, you know, I don't have time for that. It's a big enough job for me to manage me. I mean, I don't know, I'm probably a handful, so it's probably more of a job for me to manage me than you to manage you, or the average person. But yeah, I don't have time to be focused on what other people are doing. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me. And when I finally realized that, it was just kind of freeing, because you're not sitting around all day wondering what this person's doing, wonder what that person's doing, getting into conversations all day long about things that are really none of your business in the first place. So, you know, I'm going to keep this one kind of short today, because if I don't, I'll just kind of keep repeating myself over and over, because it's one of the simplest messages there is. Live and let live. If what somebody else is doing doesn't affect you, you don't even need to comment on it. Sometimes there's like these little subtle, it's like kind of a passive-aggressive thing. Well, I didn't say it, you know, I didn't criticize them, this or that, but it's the way somebody says it, or, you know, just bringing it up or whatever. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You know, I've got pretty thick skin, so I don't worry about all this stuff. But people, you shouldn't drink so green smoothies. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. That goes in one ear and out in the other. Because nine times out of 10, almost 99 times out of 100 on YouTube, I don't even know this person. And a lot of times people are doing this now that it's prevalent, you know, social media. This stuff is just amped up. Everybody getting into everybody's business is just amped up since we've had social media. You just didn't see it as much back before, because, you know, you just didn't have those connections. But, you know, do you. Don't worry about anybody else, unless, like I say, if they're doing harm to you, or if they're doing some sort of significant harm to somebody else. Okay, maybe, but like I say, I don't know, and I don't like to think it's selfishness, because I think of people other than myself in a good way. But as far as like worried about, like, you know, how other people's behavior, that's a good way to put it. I don't worry about other people's behavior, as long as it doesn't affect me. You know, we're all independent beings, and we all have a right to choose how we do things. And yeah, just the world would just be a lot less contentious if everybody took care of themselves, minded their own business, and just live and let live. It's really more about tolerance. Like, I'm not saying let's stop promoting the message of love, but let's go for tolerance first, because if you're going to give me one or the other, I'd prefer to have tolerance. If you're going to only give me one, I'd prefer you give me two, tolerate me and love me. But if you're only going to give me one, I'd prefer you just tolerate me and don't worry about what I'm doing. So anyhow, live and let live, and the world will be a better place. We'll have less war, we'll have less infighting in our, you know, even in our own country, because man, they've got the masters. Let me get out there for a minute. The masters have, God, this has been crazy being back in the States almost a year now, because I've gotten to see it up close and personal. It's not just on The masters are putting those, are like they're moving those puppet strings perfectly, because now more so than ever, that is exactly what they want. They've divided 50-50. When they can divide 50-50, it's constant. It's distraction. A lot of this stuff is distraction, and it's created distraction to make you intolerant to this person intolerant to you, whereas the powers that be are doing all kind of things behind your back while you're distracted with this. So let it go, live and let live. Rambling message today, a little unclear, but that's okay. Figure it out. Anyhow, good seeing you guys again. Good connecting with you as always. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna leave a permanent link below to the Vegan for Everything shirt. I've been selling these, and they're really comfortable, really comfortable. So anyhow, see you tomorrow. Peace.